Hello, and you're welcome to Global Business Insights, where from a global perspective we discuss answers, ideas to questions in the fascinating places where finance, business, and culture converge. Producer prices in Germany fell 0.5% in September, minus 0.2% was expected, accelerating the annual decline. The negative annual growth rate has lingered for over 15 months, pulling the nominal index down to levels last seen in May 2022. The weakness, predictive of lower consumer inflation, puts more monetary easing in the Eurozone back on the agenda. US stocks fell slightly as investors awaited release of major corporate earnings reports. Still, the outperformance of the US economy, expected to have tripled Eurozone growth in the third quarter, is a good reason to expect the Wall Street rally to still have some room to play out. A combination of rate cuts and Middle East tensions also helping gold to reach fresh record highs. The other reason for upbeat sentiment could be the heavy spend in a calm but definitely most unusual US election season as both candidates wrap up their pitch to voters. Many questioned a $1 million daily giveaway by billionaire Elon Musk's super PAC to registered voters who also signed a petition. Unamused Democrat Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro says the giveaway was deeply concerning as Pennsylvania's voter registration deadline closes today. Trump, who may have erased the Harris lead, depending on which poll you believe, yesterday fried chips and served meals at the local McDonald's, while Kamala revved up the attacks on Trump's vulgar vocabulary and unfitness for the highest office of the land. Never a dull moment as billions are dished out in perhaps the most lavish election the world has ever seen. Shell plc in a statement today said a land-based pipeline leak has led to about 30 to 40 metric tons of a mixture of oil and water spilled into the Sea of Singapore. Two major monetary institutions with very divergent agenda hold annual meetings this week. The International Monetary Fund boss, in her own curtain-raiser speech, said the world can do better. The other institution, that's the BRICS Plus nations, will in their 15th year together hope to announce a new global financial payment system to attack America's dominance of global finance and shield its members from US sanctions. Here is a clip from Georgieva Kristalina's curtain raiser speech. That was last week.
We will cherish the good news, and rightly so, because we haven't had much of it lately. The big global inflation wave is in retreat. A combination of resolute monetary policy action, easing supply chain constraints, and moderating food and energy prices is guiding us back in the direction of price stability. And this has been done without tipping the global economy into recession and large-scale job losses, something we saw during the pandemic and after past inflation episodes, and which many feared we would see again. But we didn't. Both in US and Euro area labor markets, we see, just taking these two examples, we see cooling in an orderly manner. And let's pause and recognize this is a big achievement. Where did this resilience come from? Answer: from strong policy and institutional foundations built over time, and from international policy cooperation as countries learn to act fast and act together. We are benefiting from central bank independence in advanced economies and in many emerging markets. We are benefiting from years of prudential reforms in banking, from progress made in building fiscal institutions, and progress made in capacity development worldwide. But despite the good news, don't expect any victory parties next week, for at least 3 reasons. Well, one, inflation rates may be falling, but the higher price level that we all feel in our wallets is here to stay. Families are hurting, people are angry. Advanced economies saw inflation rates at once-in-a-generation highs, and that memory is not going to be erased rapidly. So did many emerging market economies. But look at how bad the situation was for low-income countries. At the country level and at the level of individuals, inflation always hits the poor the hardest. Well, 2, and even worse, we are in a difficult geopolitical environment. We are all very worried about the expanding conflict in the Middle East and its potential to destabilize regional economies and global oil and gas markets. Its humanitarian impact, alongside the prolonged wars in Ukraine and wars elsewhere, is heartbreaking, and it is harming confidence in the world economy. My message today: we can do better. As Ajay Banga, the president of the World Bank across the street, often says, forecasts are not destiny. There is plenty we can and must do to lift our growth potential, reduce debt, and build a more resilient world economy.
Also, we replay our chat on a recent survey by Accenture on Life Trends for 2025. The chat will showcase the main trends reshaping consumer behavior and how businesses should be responding. A recent Accenture 2025 Life Trends survey has shown that convenience is giving way to trust as the leading digital driver for customers. The survey includes inputs gathered from in-depth interviews with thought leaders in 8 countries, as well as an extensive online survey of 24,295 people across 22 markets. You would have thought artificial intelligence, robots and robotaxis will be taking over, but not so fast. People are rebalancing, according to this survey, their relationship with technology, with each other and the world around them, creating new challenges and opportunities for businesses and brands. We're also seeing a reset where 60% of people are questioning the authenticity of online content more than before. Last Friday, for example, a judge ruled that Meta must face a lawsuit by Massachusetts alleging it deliberately deployed features on Instagram to addict young users and deceived the public about the dangers it posed to the mental health of teenagers. There are 5 lifestyle trends for 2025 showing what people will need and want from business. First, there is a different hesitation to engaging online as people can no longer trust the experience in terms of what they see, creating a risk for anyone doing business there. There is a cost to this hesitation with ability to trust digital technology under threat and its additive value diluted by authenticity issues. The survey says over half surveyed have seen fake news or articles, and 33% have experienced the deep fake attacks or scams for personal information and or money. Second, there is demand for change from parents towards helping young people shape a safe, healthy relationship with digital technology. Evidence of harm to children and minors stacking up, encompassing bullying, abuse, unrealistic beauty standards, deep fake sextortion, and age inappropriate content, requiring a radical rethink that could decimate some services completely and perhaps create new ones. Third, there is an impatience to use technology to find faster ways to pursue a goal, and social media offers a stage on which anyone can share their experiences and advice in relatable, intimate ways. There is a new power of the crowd driven by a strong person-to-person affinity, which satisfies impatience for new ways to achieve health, wealth, happiness, and better outcomes. 63% of survey respondents of all ages still say they get inspiration from social media on how to do things smarter. Fourth, employees are strained and an emotional distance between workers and work is becoming clear. A relentless push for efficiency is leaving employees feeling like productivity carries more weight for leaders than their skills, experience, and contribution to the company culture. Businesses are responding by fostering ownership and involvement in new ways, including more of equity for staff to upend the traditional union structures. And as for unions, Boeing and its striking labor union reached a new tentative agreement that could end a month-long strike involving 33,000 workers in the Pacific Northwest. The strike halted production of 737 MAX and 777 planes. Staff dissatisfaction will require more proactive handling. Fifth, the survey sees in 2025 people finding new ways of spending spare time, finding joy and balance in real-world activities and genuine human connections, and changing the opportunity for businesses. So what does this all mean? Distrust is killing legacy branding and information structures as trust shifts to crowd social platforms rather than traditional news providers, and implies more investment in content moderation. Brands also need to establish and communicate clear methods for customers to verify their authenticity. The survey also suggests that if reaching younger people matters to a brand, it implies a less digital, social media dependent strategy. The workforce also needs fresh re-energization, and there's also need for a fresh balance as brands seek out non-digital ways to authentically connect with customers. A lot to chew for 2025. European markets closed mostly lower as investors awaited key corporate earnings and monitored elevated Middle East tensions. US markets are mixed so far. Momentum may depend on if companies reporting beat expectations as the earnings season ramps up. About 20% of S&P companies, including major names like Tesla, Boeing, Amazon, and Coca-Cola, are set to report their Q3 performance this week. Well, that's it from me on Global Business Insights. This is Bode Oshosami. Thanks for sharing and following or subscribing on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube and X. Again, thank you so very much for watching. Bye-bye.